Okay, hello. I'm Morgan Stebbins. I'm a Jungian analyst and professor of hermeneutics, and this is Hardcore Jung, in which we ask some hard questions. We'll see what kinds of answers we get. Right now, just in time for Lent, which also means the preparation for some kind of rejuvenation in the spring, is the idea of the 7 deadly sins. And we're talking about the 7 deadly sins not only because it's a great sexy name that the Catholics found, but also because it describes the human condition. Now, what we're not saying is that the sins, as they're theologically understood, are the things to talk about. So what we're trying to say is that in between throwing them out, which is one stance, and abiding by them in this dogmatic theological way, there's a third way, the psychological way. The third way is to say there's something there that people of all cultures have been interested in terms of these difficult emotions and problematic behaviors. How do we understand those in a deep way that changes who we are and allows us to be more ourselves? So that's really our goal. That's the psychological goal. Our task here is to translate the sins into something that makes sense today to people, regardless of their religious stance. Sin, in its ancient Hebrew form, meant to be off the mark. It meant to lose your way, be off the path. And in a sense, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how do you lose your way? How can you tell? What afflicts us when that happens? And then also, how do we correct it? That's why we think this is still relevant. The ways that we get off our path, they still come up in these versions that are very much like the sins. What happens when we become obsessed or addicted to something, or too lustful, too greedy, too angry? We know when those things happen because we can't function very well and we're unhappy. The question of hell or punishment happens because when we're deeply grabbed by one of these strong emotions and behavioral patterns, we're not happy. We could feel like we're in hell. It might be milder, we might feel like we're only in purgatory, or it can be just terrible. One of Jung's brilliant insights is that these old and maybe outdated ways of talking about the human situation have a kernel of wisdom. And our job is to try to find the meaning within those experiences. So that's what we're going to be doing in each of these upcoming sections. Stay tuned.